Mm-hmm. Good afternoon. Happy Monday, VV Nation. I know, I'm not Glenn. I'm Ryan. He is going to be back tomorrow. I saw the short from over the weekend. Looks like he is still having a wonderful time in Hawaii. I mean, what a great time to be on vacation, too. Obviously, the stock market not doing a whole lot right now. All right, everyone's making their way into the room. Just make sure you can hear me. Make sure you can see me. Please put in the appropriate VV Nation in the comment section. I see people making their way into the room now, so we'll just give everybody just a chance here. While we do that, we're going to look at the home page here. I saw the primary wave was up this morning, right? And where I saw most of the optimism from was crypto, right? You know, that the crypto went up, the Bitcoin. We'll get to exactly why here in just a moment. But the miners, the micro strategies, the Tesla, even some of the tech stocks, I like to, move with crypto a little bit. All up this morning. However, a lot of that was short-lived, right? That didn't last very long at all. The primary wave, like I said, flash, first thing this morning that it was up. It was not confirmed or anything. As you can see right now in the trend column, it is still currently down. We have 3 yellow lights across the board once again. All the major indices, down today, except the VectorVest composite. Therefore, I'm seeing some optimism in the small caps, right? But the VIX is up today. Look, 4% on the VIX. You can see the S&P down 0.25%. So obviously the fear coming back into the market. Tabula, convenient that Glenn went on holiday just before the U.S. market crashed, right? Well, hopefully he sold his stocks before he went on that vacation. Otherwise, it may not have been a good thing, right? But knowing Glenn, he probably had some stops in place, hopefully, right? Practice what you preach. I bet still up today according to Schwab. And it should still be. But yes, we'll get back to crypto. So crypto jumped up a little bit more than the other tech. I saw, NVIDIA, Intel, on the semiconductors, they're not a direct correlation, but they typically move with the crypto a little bit. That momentum and that optimism was gone pretty quick into the morning. I saw AMD was still in positive territory, but a lot of those stocks definitely not in positive territory. But if we look at the top VST stocks, the stocks that the software has been recommending as of recently, look at Stride up almost 2% here. The big winner today going to be Orla Mining, almost 2.25%. So on a down day, not a bad, not a bad stock to be in, right? Now tonight, 6 p.m. video. Because of crypto, the optimism, and actually let's go ahead and just get into the news stories real quick. Let me pull that up. That's really what caused this. All right, so the enthusiasm this morning, it's all about the strategic Bitcoin Reserve, SBR, as they're calling it, right? Well, in that announcement, it's not just going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm not too surprised adding some of these others, Solana, XRP, and I always said it, unless you're comfortable trading volatility in some of the meme coins, really just stick to the big market cap. Obviously it's always been Ethereum and Bitcoin, but over the last 12 months, Solana, XRP, Cardano definitely, make up a big portion of the market cap here. Pretty sure XRP should still be in third place with Ethereum in second place when it comes to their market cap. I'd have to take a look and see at their market caps, but I'm pretty sure that'll be the case. Trump crypto pump and dump. Watch the video tonight because it could be a pump and dump, but there are some other items that could be lining up with this, right? And like I said, it doesn't matter what I think about crypto, just a matter, how the world views it and how, the rise in the adoption, right? All right. So that was crypto. That's kind of what, sent the markets, gap up this morning. Now, the next item here I have, Domino's, right? I thought this was an interesting article. And the reason why I put Domino's here, the article is one thing, but really just put some stocks on your radar that are outside of tech. Pennywise says, will be interesting if an XRP spot ETF emerges. I will not be surprised by that. I'm actually already seeing news articles about it. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw XRP, then, Cardano, Solana, obviously. Much past that, I don't see, too many ETFs getting past the top 5 there. But time will tell as, the cryptos have winners and losers along the way. But Domino's here, right? So Pizza Hut came out with the stuffed crust 30 years ago, right? Finally, Domino's is coming out with a stuffed crust pizza. So I wanted to I know there's not much good news in the market, but hey, if you like stuffed crust pizza as I do, and I do like Domino's, unfortunately they just never had one, I'm actually pretty excited about this. And I put the stock in the watch list as well so that we could take a look and see exactly if there's any opportunities when it comes to Domino's. Because again, I really just wanted to put this stock on your radar, potentially diversify away from tech, especially if you're too heavy in your portfolio in those tech-related items. Now, this interview I actually watched this morning. Ooh. I don't know if anyone saw this, but Leon Cooperman said that he's selling into market strength, right? So if you're selling into market strength, you're thinking an overall bear market, because if you're on a bear market, so each time it goes up, he's trying to sell, right? Each time it goes up. So he's selling on those lower highs, essentially, right? I have never had stuffed crust pizza. John, you might have to check it out, man. And obviously, Domino's delivers. All right, let me clear this here. There we go. Warren Buffett increased his Domino shares and sold all of his VOO shares. Interesting, Drew. That might actually... see, Leon Cooperman follows the confirmed and DEW signal. I don't think so. But he did state, let's see here, selling profitable holdings while holding on to an outsized level of cash, right? Who's the other person, the famed investor that's getting a lot of news right now? Well, not right now, but probably over the last 6 or 9 months, that's, is getting really, much heavier and heavier, weighted into cash as his position. Anybody know who that other famed investor is who's got high levels of cash right now? Yep, Bill, it's Buffett, right? So we're seeing, these large money managers stockpiling in cash, right? And I'm not going to say I'm smarter than Buffett or this guy by any means. So I just want to put this article on tell you and say, hey, maybe selling into this market strength, don't have to sell it all, but whatever you're comfortable with, have that cash on hand, right? Because I've said it before, but if the market pulls back, and I typically use this with the MTI scenario, but if the market pulls back, right, and you've got no cash, from taking profit, the only way you can really buy more shares is to just, put more cash in your account, right? Buffett has also been buying more Oxy shares. Yes, I can see that with petroleum right now. With coal going up in price, why is BTU stock keep decreasing in value? We'll have to take a look at that in the stock picks, the customer stock picks today. It could be all forecasted. It could be interest rates, right? Interest rates, have been ticking up. Could be inflation, because we do take into consideration interest rates and inflation when it comes to our valuation, right? So we have to take a look at the chart and see. Buffett is ready to buy when there's blood in the streets. Yes, I definitely agree with that. So that's my fair warning. Obviously, I've never been a gloom and doom kind of person. Don't want to scare you by any means. But when you see some of the largest and famed money managers, most respected, gurus of this industry loading up in cash, I'm not going to ignore that. Hopefully you don't either, right? All right, so let's click on this one here. Oh, this is the one I want to look at. Gorilla Technology secures landmark $1.8 billion agreement to drive Thailand's largest smart grid and AI-powered energy transformation. I know a lot of talks about AI, a lot of talks about energy. And I know a lot, me and Glenn have been mostly focused on, stories here in the U.S. Obviously, there's been such, a lot of news stories, with Apple trying to do $500 billion, $500 billion investments. You've got SoftBank, talking about investments in the U.S. But here's a stock here. You You can see the symbol, GRRR, up 12% right now. And looks, here's another one, 30%. I'm not sure what this GRRW is. Let's see here. Yeah, in VectorVest, in VectorVest we have it as GRRR. But this stock here, a lot of momentum here, up again 12%. This is what I want to get to. Duh, because I was talking about the GRR. It's a British company. Okay, gotcha. It's a British company, but the deal is in Thailand here. So just, you don't want to put this on your radar. But this is what I was talking about, Leon Cooperman. One stock he's loading up on, Vertiv Holdings, VRT. We've talked about this stock in the past, right? I've talked about it before. When it broke its downward trend line back, it had a good run. We're going to take a look at it again today, right? Because obviously AI stocks getting hit, quite a bit. You can see right here, look, 22%. Fears of valuation, artificial intelligence-related stocks. Vertiv shares slumped more than 6% alone on Monday. Right now, it's currently trading at $89. Like I said, just shy of 6%. So we're going to take a look at Vertiv, see if this stock is becoming, more attractive, essentially, right? Because I know, AI stocks, they're not going anywhere, but a lot of them are on discount right now with the market sell-off we're seeing in tech, over the last few weeks. Why don't we go foreign whilst we wait for the U.S. to recover? European banks, defense stocks. Tabula. It's funny you say that because I have a list, and a lot of the items in that list are of foreign entities. So if you want to diversify outside the U.S. market, and that's what this guy is talking about too. Cooperman, has growth prospects comparable to the market. All right, so let's get out of here. Gorilla Tech. Again, this is going to be AI, Thailand, energy, infrastructure play. Great choice to get a piece of that data center pie. Yes, always a good, especially when a lot of these data center pies are in discounts right now, right? If you would have looked at a lot of these AI or data center stocks, 3-4 weeks ago, you'd been paying a lot more money, right? European defense stocks are rocking today. Bill, European stocks in general are hot today. It's funny you guys talk about that. Let's go ahead and get out of the news here. Get back into the software. We're going to go over to the viewers tab. Let's see if there's any optimism here. So let's just go. Let's take a look here. SPY, QQQ, VVC. I just want to see what the intraday movement is looking like here. Close to session lows on SPY. Sellout out the gate, flat pretty much since then. Qs, same scenario. Sellout off the gate, relatively flat. VectorVest Composite looks like a double bottom here with a nice rally over the last, about 30 minutes or so. So we're seeing a little bit more optimism in the broad market, but still, closer to session lows than we were at the open. All right, so let's go to the viewers tab. So again, not much optimism there, but this is all right. So these are the stocks I've got for you, but we're going to take just a second. Where is it at? Right, news. Here we go. All right, take a look at these stocks. These are stocks from the news stories I had. I had Gorilla. I got Hood, and just Bitcoin Trust here, BTC. We've got Vertiv Holdings, and then Domino's Pizza. Right at the top of the list, we've got GUR. We can see here fundamentally, not there, right? Way overvalued. RT. So the only thing this has got going for it is momentum, right? So treat it like a momentum trade. I'm going to scroll over to the right. But look at the sales growth rate, 581. So not something, that's a big number there. And even the earnings growth rate coming at 44% in second place here. But still treat it like a momentum trade. We'll take a look at it in just a moment here. We got Hood. I see this as a great way to play the crypto space if you don't want to buy, a Bitcoin or Ethereum ETF or miner or MicroStrategy. If you want something a little bit more diverse rather than just coin, which is solely crypto, you've got Robinhood here, right? Which obviously financial brokers has been a hot space as of recent, but also with Hood's exposure into the crypto realm. It's going to gain some momentum as news comes out from these reserves and whatnot. But as far as, the safest pick here, look at this. Vertiv Holdings has a higher safety rating than Domino's And look at Vertiv right now. It's got the sell rating. So we can see if there's any bottom fishing opportunities here. Let's go ahead and just graph these. Now, as far as this one here, I could see, a nice level of support here. You see the retest from this upper wick right here, from the up end. So my first level is going to be 32.72 for to break this. We've got several touches here at 30.57. But right now, this upper wick currently trading lower than it was at the open. Looks like a lot of that momentum, waning out of the gate here. Didn't last too long, so we'll skip that one for now. Here we've got Hood gap up, again from the Bitcoin. But look, giving pretty majority of those gains away. I think that's more of a market sentiment rather than, the crypto space itself. You can see Hood, on the retracement here, trying to get back above that 20-day EMA. If you want some confirmation, obviously take out today's high because that will confirm this uptrend. Or, just price action getting back above that 20-day EMA. You can see nice pivot off this level of support here. You can see my zone just below the support level itself. But buying pressure is there. You can even just draw a trend line here if you want to make it nice and easy. But overall, what about Palantir? We'll talk about that in just a moment here. Here's Domino's Pizza. Again, from just about the beginning of January here, nice momentum to the upside. Down day to day, hitting a level of resistance. If I scroll back, let's see what this resistance is. It's coming in. There we go. 497 is that resistance zone. So we are approaching that, right? But overall, it's filled the gap here. I think this is not a bad play if you want, again, this, I really just put this here, something to diverse away from tech, especially if you're very heavy, tech heavy right now in your portfolio. Take a look at Domino's Pizza. The buy rating starting to flash here. If we look at earnings per share, on the rise, growth rate and earnings. Higher than it was 12 months ago. I see the little bit of rollover here, but it is higher. 11% to finish out. And then sales growth rate, 3%, which is higher than it was 12 months ago. So overall, again, this isn't a big money maker stock here, right? This is just a good way to diversify your portfolio. Put a good quality stock in your portfolio if you think Domino's Pizza. But again, we've got two levels of resistance coming in shortly. So if you want some confirmation, really getting back above 508 would be a good level to look at. Here we've got Vertiv Holdings. Let's go to 6 months here. Again, $89. Clear downtrend. You can see it retested this line several times here. Failed to close the gap. So from a technical perspective, just not there. And the valuation, $71. Stock is currently in a downtrend. If you're in it, hey, this is the last level of support here, at least near currently trading prices at $83.75. Katos is another defense stock to watch for the shift in the defense industry. Yes, especially as European powers spend more in defense spending. I've seen a lot of videos. Poland actually is spending a lot of money. They got a lot of big contracts with South Korea. So yes, you are seeing that build up in military strength in Europe, and then that's going to roll over in a lot of defense stocks. But yeah, as far as Vertiv Holdings, getting in now is going to be aggressive. Clear downtrend, sell recommendation. It's still below this Bollinger Band here, so I'd have to see it get back above it or even back above the 20-day EMA. If you want to take a nibble, the valuation, we're not far from it. We were greatly overvalued, but now, if you have some patience, you might be able to get into this stock, depending on what price action does, when it gets undervalued. And the valuation, on the decline here, price action on the decline, I like the stock. I just don't think it's the best time to get in it. If you do want to buy the dip, taking a little nibble at it, not the worst idea. I would probably put in this prior swing low here as my stop, because if it breaks this, it's obviously going to continue to go down. It's $84 right now, or about almost 90, so about $6 on a $90, about 7% stop here. So pretty decent. All right, so if we take a look here, we got Bitcoin. Again, it's been a pretty tight trading range, somewhat of a channel here. The big gap down, however, another big gap up today. Here's the level support at $39.86. Currently we're trading at $40, right? So we want to keep this level support here, especially, with the optimism around the reserves. We'll see what happens when it comes to, the state regulators or other corporate entities, but I'm giving a lot more information on that this evening. Now let's close out of these. And this here is hot stocks and hot industries. And if I scroll over to the right, it's a mixture between, as you can tell, a lot of foreign banks here, steel, foreign ETFs, insurance, right? So you've got steel, insurance, banks, and then foreign entities here. If I scroll over to the left, let's see what the big movers are today. We got MT at the top of the list here, SUPV, this is a bank, European triple leveraged, right? So I know a lot of people in the comment section. Here's a comment right here from Pennywise. Ricey is a solid European defense stock. Ryan, could you do a session like this, but what day trading, and we could trade live with you? We would have... That's not really my decision to do that. We've talked about that before. It's more of a scheduling issue with some of our other instructors around that same time. But as far as European, look, triple leverage here. So if you want exposure to European stocks and you want a little bit, put less money into it, you want to leverage that money, European EURL, great way to do that. You see almost 7% today here. And then here's another one. You got the Spider Euro stocks, FEZ, almost 3%, right? So we shall see. And then, let's see here. Ryan, if I want to move cash, is there an ETF that is highly liquid that gives 4% interest rather than keeping it in the simple brokerage cash with less than 1%? I don't know what you're talking about, because my brokerage, if I have cash there, is a lot more than 1%. It's actually probably closer to 4%. I have to look at it again. But so yeah, so if you don't want your cash just stagnant, I mean, you could put it in, short-term bonds, high yield savings account, things of that nature. But yeah, 1%, no. look at other brokerages. I know Robinhood, Webull. Webull, they definitely offer me more than 1% interest. So definitely check out that. Yeah, Bill, that's what I was wondering. Edward, who is your broker? Because less than 1%, I'd be shocked. I don't know why you would keep it in cash there. But look at all these stocks today, right? I was talking about this last week. The market rotation, diversifying away from tech. That's why I gave you Domino's, right? I'm not saying go buy Domino's, but really just you can't be overloaded on tech and tech just not working right now, right? And it's not, AI, it's not NVIDIA's fault. It's just, the market's uncertainty when it comes to, tariffs, how that's going to play out with inflation, how that inflation is going to affect interest rates, right? And interest rates and inflation are not good for growth stocks, right? And you look at quantum, you look at AI, you look at some of these semiconductors, they're all growth stocks. So, if you ever look at, periods of, interest rate increases or inflation increases and look at tech stocks, normally they don't do too well. I maintain a barbell approach with my portfolio. 4% is a mutual fund, not an ETF. But yeah, definitely want to be ETF. I keep a balance between tech and non-tech. Yeah, I mean, there's good times to, be a little bit heavier in tech. And there's good times, to wean off tech. We're seeing that wean off of tech right now, because look at NVIDIA. It gapped up this morning and gave a lot of those gains back. I think it's negative right now. I'd have to take a look. But these are stocks here, you can rewind it, take a screenshot, whatever it may be. But if you want to be diversified, I mean, you've got Aflac in here. Banco Marco, this has been a very popular one. That one in SUPV has been a top VST stock for quite some time. Let's take a look at some of these graphs here. Let's do 3 months. Nice steady rise. Here's a steel company here. Gap up, giving that out today. I wouldn't be surprised to see a retest here on this 29 level. But again, steel, that's going to be mostly a tariff play, right? I see that's, if I had to guess, that's probably why a lot of the momentum is in some of these steel stocks here. Let's see here. Here's bank, foreign bank. Clear downtrend, right? Actually, looks like it was wanting to break that downtrend here finally. Yeah. Hey, this might be the stock here because this actually just broke its downward trend. You want some more confirmation? Hey, break the 20-day EMA. You want some even more confirmation? Let it get in the fast lane, right? But you see it's undervalued. Went from a sell to a hold now. Earnings per share on the rise. Growth rate, sales growth rate doesn't look that pretty. But from a technical perspective here and just the momentum we're seeing in this foreign bank here, this actually might be a great trade setup in the making. Here we've got the ETF for Europe. Again, big gap up here, right at a level of resistance. If I scroll back to say 6 months, still don't see, but this resistance zone here sitting right at $29. Let's do 1 day here. Yeah, and it's not getting much momentum right at this resistance zone. So I'd like to see a little bit more enthusiasm there. My midstream consumer staples and defense holdings have been keeping my portfolio afloat these days. Yes, I bet. I mean, if you only hold tech companies, NVIDIA, Mag 7, that kind of stuff, and when they all, take a hit, I mean, yeah, your portfolio is going to take a huge hit as well. That's why there's times to be, a little bit overloaded in them, and times, kind of, take a step back. And I'm thinking, over the last few weeks has been that step back time period. Here's another foreign bank here, very similar. Right on that trend line here. Looks like it has not broke it yet. Looks like it's right there. Really, if it breaks above, it gets above that 20-day EMA. Right now, it's almost 89. EMA is at 91. It's only $2 away. What do you think of American steel companies like Nucor? Would it positively impact it in sight of the tariffs? I would think our domestic manufacturers like Nucor, U.S. Steel would do better under the tariffs, right? Because the tariffs is ultimately, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to increase domestic support for businesses. Putting the tariffs on to make competition for foreign entities a little bit harder. So yeah, that's why I see the steel being hot, not just today, but over like we saw since January 8th on that last chart with the first stock we looked at. But again, Bank of Marco, the other one, got some confirmation here. This one, if you want to take a nibble, I'd wait. I'd wait for the confirmation. Let it get back above that 20-day EMA, and this might just be another hot stock. Here's another foreign bank. I mean, lower left, upper right, value on the rise, price action on the rise. There's a little gappy, I see that, but it's in the fast lane above the 20-day EMA. I like what I see here from a technical perspective. As far as, forecasted data, nothing. I mean, the earnings per share is rolling over. It's pretty neutral. I mean, I'm not going to buy this stock because of the forecasted data, right? And I'm probably not going to not buy it because of this forecasted data. But nothing is really, sticking out, really good or bad. It's kind of, neutral itself out. We'll talk about that in just a moment here when we get to the customers' picks. And then here's another steel company. This is a penny stock here. You see not a penny stock, but very low volume. We're going to skip this one. That's not the one to get into. Here's another steel stock. Value on the decline, price action on the decline. And one thing I will say, when I went through these steel stocks, because I looked through the whole sector or industry, whichever it was, majority of the stocks have very bad forecasted data. So there's a few that I would choose here. But as far as this one, I'd want to see confirmation above this 20-day EMA. Not liking what I see too much right here with this position. If you want to get back above resistance level, it's going to be right above $3. Right now, it's currently trading at $2.91. Here we've got Oscar Health. A lot of consolidation to the side, a lot of sideways trading here. The stock finally becoming undervalued. You see the valuation at 15.17. The stock was greatly overvalued. Now it's becoming undervalued. Obviously you can wait for the breakout. Probably would recommend that. If you do buy in before, I'd put a stop in right around the previous low. Otherwise, rising earnings, rising growth rate, rising sales. I like what I see here. But the stock just kind of got to get it out of its own way first. But hopefully we get a breakout to the upside. So I just want to put it on your radar because I feel if we do, this stock here might just take off a little bit. Here we've got Spider Euro. Again, European, again, since the beginning of the year here, you've just seen a nice steady rise in European stocks. So that's why I want to put some of these European ETFs just on your list. Here's a foreign bank. This one I actually like a lot here. Look, valuation rising, price action rising. The technicals in our favor. As far as earnings per share, did rise over the last 12 months. A little pullback as of late, but higher than it was earlier in the year. Growth rate earnings is on the decline, but still sits at 18%. And then we've got sales growth rate on the decline. Now here's a Latin American 40 ETF. You see again, same theme. Since the beginning of the year, off to the races. It did break its 20-day EMA. It's like we're right there, almost a level of resistance. I'd want to get breakout above that 20-day EMA. Just get for confirmation, right? But ultimately, this is a good way to diversify your portfolio. If you're trying to get out of U.S. stocks, you got European, you got Latin American stocks here. And you can see the momentum to the upside is up. Here we've got an insurance company. It is overvalued, but price action on the rise. And this is going to be more of a technical trade here. Nice full body candlestick today, hitting a brand new 3-month high. I like what I see when it comes to this position. Here we've got iShares, Asia Pacific. I like this. Looks pretty similar to the Latin American ETF here. It's on the dip. We got a nice gap up today, right at that 20-day EMA. Wait for some confirmation and get back above that 20-day EMA. Get a sense of momentum here, because otherwise it's just 1-day gap. There's not a big bodied candlestick or anything like that. Let's see here. Here's Aflac. Aflac, pretty tight channel here. If I use a freehand line, actually let's use a horizontal line. You see the channel, top of the channel, bottom of the channel right here. We've just got to break out to the upside, to the outside of that channel here. So put this on your radar. That's why I wanted to give you these stocks. These are hot stocks, hot industries. I know not all of these stocks are presenting opportunities right now, but a lot of them are. Aflac, looks like it's going to be one. You see that hold rating, long hold rating during this period of consolidation. Well, the buys just occurred right before that breakout, and now they're still holding. All right, last stock on this list, we've got UNM. This is an insurance company as well. Undervalued. We did get a gap up here, currently trading at $82.53. We valued the stock at $110, so it does got some, it is a good value play here. EPS, earnings per share on the rise, lower left, upper right, growth rate on the rise. Sales growth rate is the only concern here, but it's at 0. Obviously that's not good. Could be worse, right? Could be negative. But overall, little volatility here, but we just got the breakout here, this high. Take out this high. If you're not in the stock already, take out the high. If you're in the stock, as we enter, but if we enter back in that gap, just be concerned, right? Could try to fill that gap. All right, so let's go ahead and go. That's a lot of stocks we just covered right there. So now, let's go to your picks. All right. Go ahead and give me your stock symbols. I just want to see what these companies are doing here. All right, I just put some tech stocks there. Mix. All right, Supermicro down. Oh, NVIDIA, that's the one. NVIDIA. Down 5%. So AMD is the only one in positive territory, 101.23. I will be honest, I did buy a call on AMD It didn't cost me much. It was out of the money. Expires Friday. So I did take a little bit of a nibble there on AMD when it was sub 100. I think it was like 99 and some change this morning. But yes. But other than that, not much optimism there. You see NVIDIA down, big down day at 117. It's right around my level, so be careful if you're holding NVIDIA. All right, so let's scroll back up here. All right, Joey, how many likes we got? 52 likes. All right, I'm going to give you a second to hit that like button. Let's get that number up here because I know Glenn does. For every 10 likes, you get a stock pick. So we'll give it just a moment here. Was my little secret Israel Defense Beauty on? Oops, not anymore. Oh, ESLT. Interesting. All right, let me start typing these symbols here. We got SoFi, SAN, KKR. We'll go let's say ERJ. All right, gave you 10 stocks there. At the top of the list is NVIDIA. But look what NVIDIA's got next to it. A sell rating, right? Again, it's not a verb. It's just sell rating. Just lets you know that price action is below our stop price right now. If we take a look at our stop price, stop's 120, right? So the stock would have to go back above 120.69 in order to get to a hold rating, right? So, you know, you got to ask yourself if you want to sell it, right? I mean, it's NVIDIA. I know a lot of people aren't going to be in a rush to sell it. The biggest case for NVIDIA right now is undervalued, right? $154 relative value, relative safety look phenomenal, VST. But the trend is just not there, coming in at 0.68. And that's actually one of the lowest on the list here. There's a couple lower, but it is, we can resort it. Actually, we'll do it this way today. So these are the stocks with the lowest RT relative timing in the list here. You see the semiconductors, the AI at the top of the list. I just put this here to get a sense of, what their stocks are doing today. For the most part, you see them not looking too good today. We got CLS also down 9% right now, sell rating. So let's see what stocks do have momentum in the database right now. We've got Banco, SAN, BAE Systems, ERJ, G for Genpact, LTD. Those are all up 1%, all the way down to KKR and Company up 2% here. But as soon as we hit SoFi, we do start hitting some losers. Along with that, we also start hitting sell recommendations. Prakash, we already took the stock recommendations. We will not be taking any more this afternoon. NVIDIA, let's see here, also the second here, sell recommendation, CLS, ARM, BBAI, SMCI. Let's see what the safest stocks are right now. NVIDIA is still the safest stock in the list, so I get a sense why people would be interested in bottom fishing NVIDIA, right? I remember last time it took its dip around this level. I said between around, 117, 120 would be that support level, if I remember correctly. You've seen it on the chart when I do the videos of it. If it breaks below that level that I've had, just be careful, right? Again, with the sentiment of the market, it's not NVIDIA that's the problem, right? It's the market right now. Tariff concerns causing a potential increase in inflation, and if inflation increases, obviously that's not going to help out with the interest rate situation, right? And that's what the market's not worried. That's what the market is worried about right now, right? The uncertainty of these items playing out over the course of 2025. So yes, and right below it, here we've got the Hartford Financial Service, HIG, not a company I look at very often, but look, RT relative timing 1.28, so it's rocking and rolling to the upside. Buy rated, up 1% today. I do like that. forecast, I mean, it's positive, the earnings and sales growth rate. I mean, nothing phenomenal. CLS, let's look at the charts here. Let's do that. Ooh, Chipotle's in the list here. Up 1%. So it looks like just CLS and some of the tech companies here, ARM. SMCI is also down today. So yeah, that's what I say. Trying to get away from tech right now, never a bad idea. NVIDIA support at 106. Yeah, I think I had my second level around there. I think it was like, I'd have to take a look at it. It might still be on the chart. Let's take a look at the chart here. Let's graph these. All right, we got NVIDIA at the top of it. Yep, so there's my support level there. Caught it last time. This time, let's see here. Let's go to 3 months. Fresh sell rating today. Obviously, I would like to stay above, Friday's low here, right at the bottom of my level. But if we go to 3 months, you can see my next zone coming in around 101 to 196 here. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And obviously, these, give a couple percentage points here. But yeah, I don't see the reason why I'm going to rush and buy it right at the bottom of the support level here if it breaks it. Seems like a sell rating is a good time to buy, depending on the stock. Encyclopedia. The sell rating is kind of like and how we advocate our buy, hold, and sells is because everyone has their own plan in place. Everyone has their own risk tolerance, right? But if you buy a stock with no exit strategy, no plan in place at all, we put the stop price there to try to, keep it from becoming emotional, right? But the sell is only a good time to buy if it doesn't keep dipping, right? Because NVIDIA can keep dipping. If we look at NVIDIA here, you can see these long period of sells, right? Now obviously, it did turn around eventually. But again, the momentum is to the downside when you see these sell ratings here, right? These little slithers, they haven't been too long-lived. So yeah, with NVIDIA having a high safety rating, and obviously, several trillion-dollar market cap company, I do get the point of, buying the dip on NVIDIA, right? So just be careful. So I'm not quite convinced that the low is in yet. All right, so here we've got Hartford. Let's go back to 1 year. SWVXX on my radar. Interesting. Here is the Hartford. I mean, look, nice lower left, upper right. Again, not going to be a very exciting stock. But if you don't want an exciting stock, you want a stock that just, has been doing good. Nice equity curve on it, undervalued, just got a fresh buy rating. It looks like we're going to get right back up to those highs here. So the level resistance, let's go to 3 month. At 122 right now, it's at 119.75. So yeah, a couple dollars away. So obviously, if you want to wait for confirmation, you're only a couple dollars away, right? But it's got a nice full body candlestick today. As far as the the growth rate and earnings, sales growth rate, look decent on it. Rising earnings, undervalued buy rating. I like what I see here with this position. Now here's CLS. We've got a sell rating on this stock as of today, flashed here. We've got one other flash here, and you can see, it did pivot back. But again, that's just based off our stop price. Has not been a pivot yet, so again, you're just taking a chance on catching a falling knife. One thing I do like about it, this low is still higher than this low. So if I was going to try to catch this falling knife, at least put my stop in somewhere around here at the prior swing low stop, because that way if it does break that, then there's definitely more of a downtrend forming here. If I go to 6 months, you can see my levels here that I've had on this. It's been a while since I've looked at this chart here. I don't think it's going to go, who knows what it's going to do, but if I put let's add a support line here. No clear level support coming into play here. So if I wanted to just use a freehand line, I can see that's probably where it found the support last time. So yeah, I would ultimately just want to see it hit a higher low, right? Because if we get much past here around what $82 or no $92, if we break that, the traders, the bears, they'll be tempted to put in another low here. We go to the next one. We got AMD. Again, still in that descending channel. Here we've got STM. This is a semiconductor greatly overvalued. The only thing I don't like here, price action's on the decline, value's on the decline, way below its 200-day moving average. A lot of resistance in here. I can't quite get on board with this one. Let's look at a bigger chart here. Let's go to 5-year. No, I can't get behind that right now. Maybe if you want to look at the big picture here, 'cause I don't know, I forgot who gave me this stock. That's a downward trend line. Yeah, we can break above this resistance. There's the 200-day, moving right in it. So yeah, if it does jump up, we could see a level of rejection right here, right around this 200-day, along with this trend line here. It's just above $30 right now. Here is Super Micro. Again, not in the space right now. It's just, there's not much positive news. This was the trade here I talked about. I said watch that 200-day moving. I actually used it as a target. Clear broke through it, but we broke right back below it. So if I did get you in this SMCI, hopefully you paid attention to that 200-day moving average comments. I did like 2 shorts about. But yeah, so just we're getting rejection there. Not the time to be in it. Now here's a stock. We got computer services. It's already displaying my favorite chart pattern. I like the chart pattern. Value on the rise, price action on the rise. It's been doing it since summer 2024. Both of those attributes on the rise. Earnings per share, nice steady stair-step fashion. The company is growing their earnings here at 12%. A little bit more optimism in the beginning of this chart, but obviously that rolled over, that forecasted. And the sales growth rate on the rise coming in at 9% here, so I do like that as for optimism. Bill says primary wave is up. Well, hopefully it is. Maybe I did buy that AMD call at the right time this morning. Otherwise, I felt comfortable with a little nibble, and that's all I did. We'll see if that nibble plays off. But right now, this actually looks really good. Actually, I think I have talked about this before, but I'm just going to play it like that. I'd be more concerned about taking profits closer to the top of this trend line. And obviously, getting in closer to the bottom, looking for any kind of retest here. As of right now, if we go to let's go 6 months. Use a horizontal line. Let's see where this takes us. Here, no, it's above the gap. So the gap is at 49.63. We did enter the gap here, but found a level of support on that 20-day EMA. So if the market or the investors seem that 20-day EMA is a nice level of support here on this pullback, I would say as long as it stays above that 20-day EMA, I'd be optimistic in the position. But just from an investor standpoint, looking at this equity curve, undervalued, buy ratings, rising earnings, I like what I see here with this position. Here's KKR. Look at that. Approached our valuation, became fairly valued. Nice pivot here. If you didn't get on the dip or this pivot here, you can look for some confirmation right at this level of resistance. And the 20-day EMA sits there. Resistance at 140. We're currently just above 138, so we're right there. I want to buy it right at a resistance zone and a possible retest of that 20-day EMA. Look for follow-through, right? Look for a breakthrough. If you're already in the position, hey, your stop should be right around this prior low here, because if you break that, we'll continue this downtrend, right? As far as forecasted data, mixed bag here, rising earnings. Company is decreasing its ability to grow its earnings, though. And the sales growth rate really falls apart, negative 31%. So as far as an investment, the company is fairly valued, forecasted data, But that equity curve is nice. And I like the dip here on this equity curve. The stock was undervalued, became way overvalued, came right back down to our valuation, right? So I do like it that, we're getting it, pretty fairly valued as far as, what it's being priced at right now, 138. Here is Chipotle. Chipotle is not really doing a whole lot right now. The one optimism, like this low needs to stay higher than this. If we drop much more, that's not going to be good. But the stock is greatly overvalued. The sell rating has been flashing. Clear downtrend. Hasn't broken any downward trend line or anything. Give me optimism. Growth rate, 19%. Sales growth rate, 13%. Rising earnings. Let's see what it's doing today here. 3 months. We're right at that 20-day EMA. Let's get above it and let's just knock out this other, if you want to tiptoe into it, get confirmation above the 20-day EMA. If you want a little bit more of a tiptoe, hey, here's another level here. This resistance at 56.65. And then the third level is going to be that 200-day moving average right here, which is currently at 58.49. So that's kind of some levels you can look at, the tiptoe to the market. Bill says primary wave is up. So hopefully, market will turn around, but we'll take a look at just see what the intraday trading has done. Here's aerospace and defense. Look at that big body candlestick. Everyone is talking about today. You see, the European stocks are up right now. A lot of European defense stocks are hot. That's why I wanted to put these, the EU stocks 40, and then I forgot the other one was. But they had both big gains. Oh, the other one was the triple leverage EU. So again, if you want to play the space, it's hot right now. You can see in the fast lane, undervalued right now. So whether you're a momentum trader or you're an investor, hey, this one right here, ERJ, put it on your radar. Let's go to a 1-year chart. Nice equity curve as well. I mean, you can see the valuation just taking off like a rocket while the market, kind of piddled around. But now investors are saying, hey, we're getting a great deal, and brought price action right up to our valuation, right? So I do like this one actually a lot. Here's San Banco. I mean, this is a clear momentum trade. The value's on the rise now as well. I mean, obviously that rollover there, no one ever wants to see that in their stock position. But with value on the rise, price action on the rise, we're in the fast lane right now. I could see this as, an investment or a momentum trade, but more so right now, momentum trade, right? If we take a look at the 1 month, flat. I would take out today's high. We got the gap up, but the body's just, there is no body there. Pretty neutral trading. And I know these other candlesticks aren't that big, but definitely much bigger than what we got here. Not much confirmation. I want to take out today's high, get some confirmation here. And here we've got SoFi. Let's go to 6 months. SoFi, again, I want to get back above the 20-day EMA. It's right in this zone right here, a support zone. Well, yeah, support zone right now. Right now it's at 1490. We're at 14. We got 38. So, let's get above this zone. Or wait, that's 1450. Sorry. My eyes are going bad. What kind of graph layout is it? This graph layout, down at the bottom, I have forecasted earnings per share, growth rate earnings, and sales growth rate, all VectorVest proprietary indicators. I have a 20-day EMA and a 200-day moving average to get us a sense of momentum for the traders or the investors here. Support resistance. And then the yellow lines are our Bollinger Bands that Glenn utilizes for his star search. So I just took the Bollinger Bands out of the star search layout, which is just a 20-day period. And a 1 standard deviation of 1, and that gives me my fast lanes. What stop on SoFi? So our stop price, good question. And our stop price is a 13-week moving average, right? Slightly adjusted, I don't know if slightly, but adjusted for the company's fundamentals, right? So if the company's got really bad fundamentals, we're going to tighten that stop up, right? Treat it more like a momentum trade, get you out of it quicker. If the company's got really sound fundamentals, like an NVIDIA, an Apple, it's not going anywhere, we will loosen that stop up, giving you a little bit more wiggle room, for let the position to grow. As far as our stop here, let's take a look. Great question. Our stop price coming in at 14.46. We're currently at 14.35. So we're right there. I mean, I don't know, another 10 cents to the upside. 11 cents. It has to be greater than our stop. And then you'll have the hold rating, right? So if you want to, take a nibble at SoFi, hey, seeing the sell go to a hold, showing that some of that downside momentum might start, waning a little bit here. That's one thing to look out for. It's right on par. If I go into 1 month here, we're almost right at that 20-day EMA here. The 20-day EMA was at 1501. The high is at 1490, right? So if we get back above that 20-day EMA, which is at 1501, our stop price, so the first confirmation is going to be the stop price. Second thing I would look for to get back above that 20-day EMA. They obviously got the Bollinger Band in there, but that's going to be a little bit further out as well. But again, SoFi, I put in, the tech spectrum, right? Think about since these inflation reports started, ticking up, SoFi ain't done nothing, right? I think the first tick up was in December, if I remember correctly. And you can see here since, November, December, let's use my date line. End of November. The stock is actually down, right? And it's only ticked up a little bit, and the tariffs, they haven't even came into fruition yet. So again, that's why I say, be careful if all you're in is tech. That's all you're looking at right now. Because, depending on what stock it is, a lot of them have lost momentum right now. I know it's a financial company, but it's a tech company, right? It's an industry disruptor. I do like SoFi as a company, though, but I just don't think it's the best time. Here's ARM Holdings. You had my trend line here, broke that trend line. We're in a clear downtrend right now. Last level support coming in at 123. Right now we're at 126. What are the parameters of your Bollinger Bands? Oh yeah, so this Bollinger Band here, this is the same one I got from Star Search. Sorry, it's a 20 period with a standard deviation of 1. So price action gets above the top yellow line, we're in the fast lane. But right now you can see it's hugging I won't say the slow lane, the bearish lane. But yeah, the ARM, the valuations have been flat. I just can't get behind it right now. If I go to a 1-year chart, I might have to go back even further. We got a gap here that never got filled either, around $95. Close 2 times, right? We'll see. We do have another level of support here coming in. That prior low, around 116. So just be careful with ARM right now. We're not seeing much optimism. Make sure you have a plan in place. Now here's another aerospace defense company. Obviously, this one's a hot one. We got the big gap up. What I like about this gap up, we're not seeing that given away, right? Since the market's open, we got a nice bullish candlestick here. A little bit off session highs, but not much. Session highs coming at 83.76. Currently we're trading around 83.14, so not too bad at all. Would you balance away from tech? Which sectors would you prioritize that aren't energy, defense, etc.? Dale, I just gave that list. Let me finish this other stock, and I'll let you know. Do you prefer using exponential rather than simple moving averages? If so, what parameters? I use 3, 8, 20-day EMAs. Mostly to get a sense of short-term traders, their momentum, what they're trying to do, right? The other moving averages I look at is a 40-day moving average of price and a 200-day moving average of price. The reason why I look at those two items is because those are typically seen as levels of support. Where stocks are pulling back, typically they like to find a level of support around 40-day, 200-day moving averages. But those are the only moving averages I ever really look at. Other than that, I don't really stir away from those. they do a good job. It's just a matter of just, hey, you just got to stay disciplined and look for the crossovers. If you're a really short-term trader, it's high momentum, 3 and 8, or price action against the 3, because you don't have to build. Well, I guess, Bill, it's not that the 150 is also a really good one to look at for those big major support levels or resistance, depending on what the stock has done. Not saying it's bad. It's just something I just haven't put it on the chart really, the 150. But that's actually a very important number to look at as well. A lot of big investors, and traders will look for, pivots around that 150. Dang, I just got here. All good, Dale, because we are going to go back there in just a moment. But as far as this stock here, I mean, it's got a big gap up. That we all know that's what you're going to be concerned about, right? Is it going to fill the gap? So if you want to get it, put in today's open, because that's going to, I think that's the low. The low is 82.21. Okay. Yeah, 82.21. You got a tight stop there. See it follow through, but I get if you don't want to buy it after that big gap up, right? It broke this level of resistance, way overvalued now. If you're in it, hey, you got the Bollinger Bands here. You could use other moving average. You could use a 3 to tighten it up, because now you definitely have some wiggle room there. You don't want to give all of those profits up. But my biggest concern is really just if price action tries to fill this gap, right? And right now we're not seeing any inclination of that, so just be careful. For the 40 and 200-day price moving average, is it simple or exponential? Simple. Simple. And typically I use my EMAs for my short-term trades just because they're more subject to change. Typically momentum traders, things of that nature. Actually, I do want to look at Palantir. Richard, and thank you for reminding me of that. Here's Big Bear AI. So we'll take a look at this one. You see my zone here. You see the support level. I like Big Bear AI. I know it's got big things going on. The stock's way overvalued, is what it is. It's below the 20-day EMA. I'm not seeing a pivot here yet. If we get some kind of pivot, some kind of bottom wick, some kind of optimism here, hey, I get why this would look attractive right at these levels here, but I'm just not seeing that right now. So it might be a little too early to get in the Big Bear AI dip, but if you did, I would just, probably look at yesterday's low if I had to guess. Well, I'm going to put a stop right here around 450. That's the bottom of my zone, somewhere around there. See what happens. Right now it's trading at 5. So 50 cents on 5, that's actually an appropriate stop. That's 10% stop, right? So that actually works out pretty well. If you want to give it 15%, it is a very volatile stock. It's AI. If you don't want to just get knocked out off some volatility, hey, I also get that. But it does look pretty attractive right now. The only thing, even the forecasted data, it doesn't look phenomenal. So if I'm in an overvalued stock that's in a space that's, getting pummeled right now, you can see that in the price action here, I'd want to see more confirmation than what I'm seeing right now. You tried to tell Glenn that Palantir is overvalued. Yeah, I tried to. And I say it all the time. It doesn't matter, how much you like the stock or how much everyone else likes the stock. It's got to be worth something, right? This was Palantir. This is kind of what I was looking at. Came to fruition here because we had that parabolic move. So I tried to get a sense of where price action would find some rejection, and it was right here off these upper trend lines here. Filled the gap completely, right? Filled the gap. If we look at value, let's move this over here. Value, 844. Now it's up to 10. So it's up almost 20%. And, not that long of a period here. Yeah, it's up 20%, not long. But it's only $10. Right now it's 87, right? I can't get behind Palantir right now. If you are in it, hey, I'm not going to be mad. It filled the gap. We got, nice optimism Friday, not yesterday. Let's see here. But we're just not getting, to get some confirmation, get back above that 20-day EMA or something. But just the space right now, I just can't get it by any means. All right, let me close out of this one here. And where I want to leave you is just the stocks. I did hot stocks and hot industries. It's kind of funny because before I put this showing you guys are talking about exposure to other markets, Europe, European defense stocks in particular. And I actually put a list together. There's European ETFs here. There's Latin American ETF, iShares specific ETF. All of these are in positive territory. Let me just scroll down for you. Yep, there we go. They're all positive. So if you want some winning trades, right? We got foreign banks. We've got insurance. We've got foreign ETFs. Foreign banks again, steel. So it's banks, insurance, or foreign banks, insurance, ETF foreign, steel. This is a great, great list of stocks. We broke them all down earlier, so if you did, join in late, definitely, go rewind it. We broke down all of these stocks. Not every one of these is presenting opportunities, but a lot of them are, and in particular, if you scroll back, we talked about, I think it was this one. Yeah, Grupo, this just broke a downward trend line. I had a nice full body candlestick. So I have a sell recommendation. So, if you like buying a dip, if you don't like buying into the highs, this is actually a great stock to have on your radar here. All right, everybody, I hope you guys had a great presentation today or enjoyed my presentation, all right? Starting tomorrow, it should be, back to normal. We'll have to get the update from Glenn and see, how was Hawaii. Let's see here. The VIX, up 6%, right? The VIX is high, though, right? And that's why, and you see the red light flashing here, and that's why I'm saying I didn't put any tech stocks on there, did I, right? And is it a matter of the market selling off, or is it a matter of industry rotation, right? And I'm seeing, there's definitely pockets, and the reason why I put this list together, because someone in the comment section, I forgot who it was pretty much last week, or I guess I was too much gloom and doom, and I didn't present any opportunity or many opportunities to buy stuff. So I want to stick with what's working, right? I don't want to guess what's not working and when that bottom is in, right? I mean, tech, that's essentially what you're doing. You're trying to guess, has this semiconductor bottomed out? Has SoFi bottomed out? Has Big Bear AI bottomed out, right? You're taking a guess, right? Why stress yourself out when you got winning stocks here? They're up on the move. And this one here, this one isn't hitting new highs. It's sell rating, right? So if you want early to the party, check out this one. And that is SUPV. Like I said, rewind the video, and we broke down all of the stocks. Everybody have a great Monday afternoon. Tonight's 6 p.m. video, it's all Bitcoin. So if you don't like Bitcoin, you don't like crypto, I'm going to save you the time right now. But if you want to, introduction of, some crypto stocks, ETFs, basic ways to play the space without, buying crypto, it's directly. Great video. And I do go into some news stories. We all know about the reserve, but there's some other things going on, state, corporate balance sheets. So check out tonight's video and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone have a great afternoon, and I will see you guys Wednesday with Glenn on AMA. Take care.